so we're gonna be able to talk. Pete, I love
Oh
you.
god.
I don't have anything prepared because I figured Pete would come on and Pete would just carry the conversation. So we got Maddie and I. We're here live. I just posted it on. I'm learning as we go, so it's up on Uncle Jimmy's podcast now with the Riverside link. You can hop on and you can go on the studio. We're in the studio, so we're here. What's up, Maddie?
Not much. How's your day?
Good, good. I had a great day, minus the snow that we've been having here in Boston, in
Oh, it's
Massachusetts, and
snowing there?
yeah, we had about 30 something inches.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, couple feet of snow. But I just had a wonderful podcast interview with Janaea Bonds, who was great. Oh, it was, she was really good. We had so much fun. She actually does fire walks. She was telling me you get to walk.
Firewalks. Tell me about that.
Yeah, she was telling me you get to walk on fire because your body tells you no. She was saying, but you got to get your frequency up to a 10. She was saying, but she was saying like Tony Robbins and those people do it, but she's like they only do it once. When she does her walk, she was saying you walk back and forth through the fire about 20 to 30 times.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't believe it. I might go. It's going to be in Nashville in May 30th and
You're
31st.
all
I'm
right. Well, tell
excited.
me
I,
how
I
it is.
I might have to walk through the fire. I mean, it's not like we walk through the fire every day, so it really doesn't matter, right? You know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So Pete's not here today, everybody. Pete will be here next week. He promised us. We miss
And
Pete.
Rita is couldn't come on today as well.
Rita's get the new job. She's busy. Busy. You know?
Yeah.
And we're just here. We're just talking. We're just doing a check-in. Maddie and I just checking in on everybody. How's everyone doing? I'm great. You great?
I'm great.
Just
Oh,
had a
question.
session, you said, right? Little therapy.
Oh yeah, I just got off therapy. It was fabulous. Working on myself a little bit here.
That's the best thing. Maddie went from therapy to therapy here on Wednesdays on Uncle Jimmy's podcast, right?
Double therapy.
As I tell people, right, when you sit behind the mic, Maddie, when you have guests on, right, it's a feeling like it's a feeling like being in a therapist office, but having that conversation where you can relate to so much, right? Because sometimes I find in therapy, sometimes you have a therapist or psychiatrist who you could tell like really doesn't have a clue what the hell's going on with you, right?
Yeah.
And you're sort of like, well, this isn't gonna work. And they're always like, well, tell me how your week was. Well, do you really want to know how my week was? Like,
I
because
don't
if I really
appreciate
tell you,
therapists who are too clinical.
yeah, I find that's the hardest, right? And I've gone through a few. Mine retired in shit. When did he retired over the summer? It was the
Mhm.
worst. Trying to find a new one. I found a new one. She's great. We're making strides. The only thing I didn't like was the first time we meet. She's like, we're switching up. No, we're not switching up meds. That's the biggest thing. It's like new therapist, new meds. It's like, no, we're not doing that. You know, it's always something new.
It
They
is.
always they always want the cocktail, Maddie. It's like, you got to take this at night, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. It's like,
Oh yeah. Don't I know all about that? I think at one point I was on like 10 to 15 meds all
yeah,
maxed out. It was horrendous. I'd go in and say, "Well, I'm having this side effect or this is happening. Well, just take this extra pill." Like,
yeah,
no, we need to look at a lifestyle change, sleep and therapy and exercise and diet and coping skills. Meds are great. I have to take meds the rest of my life, but it's not the only answer.
correct, right. And I think that's great, to say that because I oftentimes feel like with the meds, right. And I say it all the time. You can take as much meds as you want. I don't care if they give you 20 meds, 15, 10 meds. You're on two meds or you're on no meds. But if you don't have that healthy outlet, right, a healthy release or coping skills, like you said, or even like simple like me, right? I always thought you just take the pills and it works, right? You don't have to do any work. The pills just make you better.
Mhm.
That's not
Mhm.
possible, right? And it's not, you know?
When I was on all those meds, I was probably the sickest I'd ever been in my entire life.
Yeah.
But because I wasn't working on anything else.
No, I mean, I can only imagine 15 meds. You're probably like trying to keep that schedule and looking like, when's the next one? Like, oh shit, it's 60
I was
minutes.
a
Like,
zombie.
yeah, yeah.
I could not process emotions. I was unmotivated. I had flat affect. My thyroid stopped working. I was 420 pounds. My hair was falling out. My blood work was off the charts from the meds. It was just horrendous.
And when did you start going down off all the meds, Maddie? When that started happening?
In 2023, they called about a new med and they were like, just try it and whatever. But I started to feel this immediate difference with this medication in particular. I started to feel emotions again. I started to feel motivated again. So they started reducing others, but that's when I ended up getting really sick because
Yeah,
they didn't treat all of my symptoms. So I got really manic and psychotic, and then the lithium toxicity and
yeah.
all that jazz. That's but afterwards when I was in the hospital, they said you're over medicated. Let's start from scratch here. Let's see what you actually need and what you can live without. And that was a game changing point in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. It must have been powerful, right? To snatch it back and be like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't need all this stuff, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And that's good to hear. You're starting to, and it sucks because you're starting to take the new one, you're feeling better, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like everything just
Yeah.
happens at once.
It was terrifying. I hadn't been manic like that in so many years, so I didn't. And the thing with mania is you don't always ask for help in the early stages of mania because it can be an enjoyable feeling. Like
Okay.
I had energy, I was happy, I was elated, I felt excited about life. But what I didn't realize is I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking water. I began to spend money like it was going out of style. Sexual habits can also happen with mania, like risky behaviors, because that part of your brain and your frontal cortex that tells you this is a bad idea or your impulse control is not working the same as it normally is. So a lot of times people who are in mania have really risky behaviors.
Yeah. Um, I've never had that, the mania or anything. Mine, strictly anxiety and depression. But I used to tell people this all the time, right? I sometimes refused to take my meds because I was doing great, right? I felt great.
Right?
And then I would end up in front of the hospital, the emergency room in my car, my heart beating through my chest because I just had an anxiety and panic attack. And I would say to myself, well, I'm good, right? I'm in front of the hospital. I feel better now. I can go home, right? And that's the point when I would drive home and I'd say, you got to start taking your meds again, you know?
Yeah. I always tell people when you're on meds and you say I don't need them because I'm feeling better, is it because of your meds that you're feeling better? Like
And sometimes when we're in it, right, when you're in that deep fog of mental health, you're like, I'm feeling great. I can come off of them, right? I can stop taking them. But again,
right.
I say this because I've been through it. If you are on meds, please consult with your doctor, your therapist,
Yes.
or anything. Do not just go off of them.
No.
It can be dangerous. It can have dangerous side effects. It can be very unhealthy. So do not do that. Just
No,
because
not at
Maddie and
all.
I talk about it doesn't mean it's a good thing to do, right?
I take my meds religiously.
I do now. I do now. It's like, I actually went from I used to try to get my meds ready in the morning. And so now what I do is I have a pill case for the week and I fill them up on Sunday. So I have the full week and I put them right in the console of my car. So in the morning when I go to work, there they are. There's
That's
no
smart.
excuse to miss them. There's no excuse that I couldn't take them or they're at home or they're right there. Because
I
oftentimes,
keep
people don't, I mean, I didn't realize it when I was going through it all. I was just like, oh, some days I'd miss 2 days of meds. So I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to, stupid me. I'll just take 2 days of meds that I missed. It's going to make me better. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Then you go to the therapist. Well, how's it going? You taking your meds? Yep. Yeah. I didn't tell him I missed 5 days of meds and just took them before I came in here. Yeah. So, we're excited. So, how's everything going over there with the new show with the voice of the voiceless?
Voice of the voiceless. It's going good. We're getting ramped up. I think we're scheduled out until April. Um, and for those who don't know, it's an all audio podcast where people have the ability to remain anonymous. And the goal behind it is to share the voices of people who may have not otherwise had a voice
Yeah.
because every story is important.
And giving them a platform, right? Whether they want to be
Yeah,
recognized or whether they want to stay anonymous, and that's the powerful part of it, right?
exactly. We've had some interesting stories so far. I look forward to hearing more people's
Yeah.
stories.
And I think, right, so voice of the voiceless. I think the good thing with that is that you guys can do it. And I think some people may be like, oh well, I don't know if people staying anonymous, but to me, I don't care if you're anonymous or you come on and tell your name, right? I feel if you're talking about it and getting it out, it's great, right? It's great,
Yeah.
regardless of if you're telling your name or it's anonymous. Because, and you guys, you and Pete, right? You and Pete are doing great things over there. And I think you said you booked till April, right? So I would probably say if Pete's
Yeah.
doing the booking, you probably booked till 2030 in April. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do 5 shows a day,
No.
And Pete's not
Is
here.
he?
Pete hit us with a text. He's not coming. So he probably had like a telethon today on TikTok or, I love Pete. I really do. And I was banking on Pete being here because I have no material. And Pete just, once Pete starts going, he's like a race car. Once he starts going, he's just, it's the best, you know?
Pete is
Uh,
awesome.
what's it like working with him on the show?
It's good. Pete is very driven. He is very he's got a really great work ethic and he's really good with the guests. He
Yeah.
just pops off questions like this. So everybody's just all naturally bouncing back and forth. It's a great
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. I learned right about Pete. Pete was telling me. So I told you a couple weeks ago I had people cancel, and I got a message from Pete, and we were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, it's okay. People cancel." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but I do a lot of prep." And Pete was like, "Prep? What's prep?"
Yeah, we don't prep.
Pete's like, "I don't prep nothing," and I'm like, I'm a little jealous that Pete don't prep, and I'm just like, and listen, Pete sometimes will do. Probably not with you, Voice of the Voiceless, and he has his own show, Pete versus Anxiety Pod. Pete sometimes is doing like 4 or 5 interviews a day, you know?
Yeah, he is.
And Pete needs to like just go to school, become a therapist, and just do it, like and he making millions, Pete would. And Pete's schedule's awesome. And we miss you, Pete. Um, I know everybody's been busy. I know you. That's one thing, Maddie, I wanted to talk about with you was how do you balance your mental health, right, with your strenuous workday, right, of everything that you do?
Right.
What's one of the biggest things, that keeps you grounded, that keeps you going, and it keeps you healthy, healthy mind?
It all starts with sleep and good sleep hygiene. I clock it every night. I'm like, okay, if I have to get up here, that means I have to be in the bed laying down at this time. Because sleep is so vital for our mental health. I try to stay hydrated throughout the day. Sounds silly, but it's a good thing to do for your mental health.
Yeah.
I try to eat healthy. I had gotten really good at eating healthy and exercising. I was working out like twice a day early on in my recovery, and I didn't have like any symptoms because I had the meds, the therapy, the coping skills, and the exercise. But then when I started grad school, so I was working two full time jobs and going to grad school, I was working 7 days a week and fell off the exercise. But recently I've gotten in with a gym thanks to Rita. I have a personal trainer. I'm joining some groups at night, some workout groups. Rita's trying to get me to do a mud run, even though I'm going to walk it in May. So I think that go along with the exercise, having that social outlet, that way to expend energy. A lot of times with our mental health, we have these pent up emotions, and it doesn't necessarily have to be exercise. It could be art, it could be journaling, it could be music.
Yeah.
Finding some way to express what's going on inside.
Yeah, I love the journaling. Journaling's my favorite.
Yeah.
You know? sometimes I'll be at work and people will probably think I'm like writing a song or fucking something over there. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm just journaling. You know what I mean? Like I was on a train. I was working a train last year or the year before, and I was sitting there like just writing and writing and writing. Some lady was like, "What are you writing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm writing a song. I'm a songwriter." She's like, "Huh?" I was like, "Nah, I'm just joking. I'm just journaling." She's like, "You've been writing a lot," and I go, "It's been one of them days. You want to listen?" She was like, "No," and I go, "That's why I'm journaling." You know, but it's such my favorite thing, right? Journaling is really. I say it all the time. For me, it's like from my mind to my hand to the paper, and it's like once I get it out,
Right.
once I get it out, and it's so powerful. People may think it may be like, oh, it's something stupid journaling. No, I'm telling you, once it's on in your mind, say if you're stressing about something or you're having anxiety about something or depression, write it down. Write it down how you're feeling in that moment, why you're feeling, that way in that moment, right? And maybe you can say to yourself, what's a healthy outlet so I can get myself out of this the way that I'm feeling now, right? Whether you go for a walk, whether you like me, I love photography. So I tell people all the time, if you ever see me with the camera and I'm snapping photos, that's when I'm my healthiest, right? When I'm out there doing my photos and oh yeah, I love doing photography and photos and videos. I love doing all that. So once you see me doing that, that's one of the things where it's like, I'm at my healthiest when I'm out there doing that. And I've gotten back into that the past about 2 months. I got the camera back in the car. So
Good.
wherever I go, I got the camera and I'm taking photos. I love it. And it's just so much. We think oftentimes, Maddie, when we started this journey, when I interviewed you, people oftentimes think, the mental health community, right? That there's not enough support, there's not enough people, but that's what we're building, right? That's what we're building here. We're
Right.
building communities, we're building support, right? And we're building friendships where we can check in on each other, where we can see how we're doing, have this weekly check-in here and just talk, right? And that's the greatest thing of having social media, having a podcast, because I want people to know whatever you're going through today, you know, you deserve to be here. You're loved, you're appreciated. And just know that, if you're struggling, if you're down and out, if you feel alone, right? There's always 988. Maddie and I talk about it all the time. And I'm not one of those that always says like, and because I used to hate it when people say it to me, don't worry, it will pass, right? It will pass.
Right.
I hate
Right.
that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, but sometimes it's tough, right? And some days you feel like, I don't want to get out of bed, right? Take a shower, maybe head off to work, but you're not feeling it, right? But to me, the biggest thing you can do for your mental health is get up, take a shower, even if you can't shower, make sure you get to work, and just get out of the house, right? Get out of that bed because staying in that bed's not going to help anybody. It's just going to make things worse, going to make you feel worse. You know, um, if you're married, it's going to make your wife feel worse. She's going to worry about you or your husband, or your partner, whoever it may be, whatever you choose to be with or who you choose to be with. I don't care. But just get out of bed, right, Maddie?
Right. Just get out of bed.
That's sometimes the hottest thing, right?
There was points in my life where getting out of bed was hard, but showering and brushing my teeth, my hygiene was even freaking harder. I don't know. I don't have an explanation
Yeah.
as to why, but the thought of getting in the shower was like unfathomable.
Yeah.
And like my husband really had to coach me. Okay, you need to take a shower. Like
Yeah.
you have to go to work. You can't go to work like this. It took so much effort just to do the smallest things.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to do the same thing. I'd roll out of bed and I'd look like Pigpen from Charlie Brown at work. You know what I mean? I probably had that stench coming from above me. You know what I mean? Like I didn't care because I couldn't. That was one of the things. Like when I was down and out at my worst, it was like I would shower, but I'm like in the morning and stuff. Sometimes I'd go a couple days, but it was like I had a fear. Like it was a fear of like a shower. And people ask me sometimes, like, how can you explain that? And I'm like, no, I can't. I don't have a reason behind it. It was just something about the shower that I couldn't do. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. You
It's
know.
tough. It's
So what's
tough.
up with Rita? What's she doing?
She is
Rita's at
busy
work?
advocating. She's sick today, but she's out there busy advocating for veterans.
Always. Always. That's what I love
Yeah.
about her. She's forever busy. New job, right? She started the new job?
Not yet. It's in the
Okay.
works.
In the works. And Pete's not joining us.
No, no
When are you
Pete.
guys doing so when do you guys shoot?
Mondays,
Mondays. And how many you do a week?
one or two. We
Okay.
have been doing one, but we're gonna look at doing two sometimes. But
Yeah.
my schedule is just wild, so it's hard. I know Pete's like wanting to do more, but it's so hard for me to fit anything else in right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Pete's the, full throttle. Like once you get going, he wants to have as many as he can in. And that's what I love about Pete. Um, and I haven't even seen him, right? I do have TikTok because I use it for the podcast. But he's always like I seen in the chat, he was talking about, oh, I'm going live on TikTok. Like Pete's
Yeah,
forever everywhere.
Pete's a busy guy.
Busy guy, and I love it. Like Saturday, he was texting me about he was doing some sitting on a what do you call it, a dais? He was sitting on some business thing. Pete's forever busy. And if you guys don't know Pete, go look him up. Pete versus
Yeah, Pete
Anxiety
versus
Pod.
anxiety.
You can find him everywhere. He's on all social medias. He's also the
You want to hear
co.
something exciting?
What's up?
So I do these support groups, right?
Yeah.
Um, so there's a recovery event for mental health and substance use in September, and I was asked to feature some art and possibly design the T-shirt for the event, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's not going to be me, it's going to be my group members. So we have some really talented group members and we want to get some of their work framed. So we're going to have a silent auction. We're going to auction off some of their art to sponsor getting their work framed for the art walk. It is very exciting stuff, and they came up with this all on their own. I was so impressed.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Where's the silent auction going to be?
Online, I'll let you know when it happens.
Exactly. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be putting it up. We're
It's
going to
really
be
good
making
art too.
sure. What'd you say?
It's really good art. It's photography. It's beautiful.
Awesome. Awesome. Right up my alley. If as you can see, my back wall is filled with
Yeah.
photographs and movie posters, and that's the wall of love back there, as I like to say, Maddie. The wall of love. All the people I love, some of the best movies that I love, everybody's up there. I got an old picture up there, I think, of my grandparents and my great uncles and great aunts. And there's one person left that's in the photo. One person that's alive. That's it. But it's a wall of love. I got my dad up there and his brothers and sister. My dad's deceased and his brother as well. So it's just a labor of love back there. You can't see the
I
photo
love it.
now, but it's not really clear. But right here was my father with President Clinton, Bill Clinton.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, back in the day. Yep. He was there. My father always down in DC doing union work and business. So my dad's been gone now 16 years. 16. Yeah, I was
Wow.
26 when he passed. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy,
I'm so
crazy.
sorry.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, he was a man of action. My father was. You know. I don't take much
Oh.
after him. I used to until when I had my breakthrough and I realized, I wasn't a man of action. I wasn't a man at all, but I was a person of a lot of words, a lot of words, no action. But after I came through, I had my little breakthrough and I went through some stuff and trauma and, now being able to, look back and see, certain situations in life and certain things in life where, I wasn't always the healthiest, very unhealthy thinking, right? And that gets you in trouble. And, you know, but as long as we come out on the right side and we're healthy now and we got healthy decisions and I'm moving forward, I'm becoming
And
a
that's all you
man and I'm
can
becoming a
do.
better man.
That's all you can do. We have to look at every moment in life as a new jump off point, a new moment to create the life you want. We can't go backwards and we definitely can't go forwards, but every moment is just a fresh start.
Yeah.
Somebody told me along my recovery journey, a peer support, he said, after a major psychotic break, you're never the same. Your brain
Yeah.
rewires, but this is the opportunity to create the life and the you always wanted to be. And I hated my life before. I was miserable.
Yeah.
But so I jumped full force into creating the life I wanted it to. And this was 2 years ago. And my
24.
life is some what was it? I was 26. It was 23. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
started changing my life in 24 because I got sick in 23.
Yeah.
So about this time 2 years ago, I was starting to go to the day treatment program and they were telling me these things. And 2 years later, I'm in the top four graduate program for social work in the country.
Yeah.
I have my own nonprofit that's thriving. I have a job that I love with a big future for me. And I love life. And all of that is because I took that moment to restart everything.
Yeah.
And anybody can do that. You just got to take the bull by the horns.
Look how far you've come, right, Maddie, in such a short time.
it's it's phenomenal. If you asked me 5 years ago if I'd be doing any of this, I would have laughed in your face.
Yeah.
But that's the power of mental health recovery. That's the power of having a community. That's the power of having support. But most importantly, it's the power of believing in yourself. I
Yeah.
had these things I wanted to do, these things I wanted to accomplish. So I just put my mind to it and did it. And I didn't do it alone. I've had a lot of support along the way. So
Yeah.
thank you to everyone who has supported me. But yeah, every opportunity, every moment is an opportunity to do something fresh, start fresh, change your life.
Yeah. It takes a village, right? It takes a
It
village of
does.
mental
I
health.
It does. You have to lean on the people around you that are safe and loving and caring. Not
Yeah.
everybody is safe and loving and caring. We have
Yeah.
to learn those lessons too. But like when I was going to the day treatment program, I had a team around me. Now I have a team of doctors. I have my husband. I have my chosen family is what I call them. My dad died when I was 24 and my mom died when I was 30. And I don't like I have a few family members, very few that I speak to sometimes.
Yeah.
Not many. Um, but I have a chosen family now. People like you, Jimmy. People
Yeah.
who care about me, who are my friends and would do things for me and I would do things for them. And they don't have to be blood or marriage to make them
Family.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I have blood relatives and I have people who are by marriage who wouldn't do anything for me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like people
Yeah.
who don't genuinely care about me in a very nice way. But then I meet people like you on your podcast, and I know you genuinely want the best for me and you genuinely care about other people. And that's something you got to hold on to.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the powerful thing, right, of the podcast. And you too, Maddie. Like I tell people all the time, I never thought anything about mental health Mondays or even talking mental health, my own mental health, right? And then I met Maddie and I had like an awakening, right? Of like, hey, let's I'm gonna do mental health Mondays because of Maddie, you know? And it was exciting because I was able to step out of that box, right? Of, just doing a podcast and just having people on, but also now on Mondays having people that come on and share their stories of trauma and breakthroughs and people that are doing great, right? And sometimes you're going to hear stories of people that aren't doing great, but they're a work in progress, right? And that's the biggest thing,
Right.
right? And having that community and like I said, you have your community, I have mine, Pete has his. Now we're bringing it together. Rita has hers, now we're bringing it together and it's going to get bigger and stronger and we're going to break all the
Yeah.
stigmas, right? And we're just going to talk about mental, I was talking about it today, you know, I was thinking about it too, and I was talking to my friend about it, and I was saying to her that when people get sick with cancer, right? People are always like, "Oh, how's your treatment going? How's the cancer?" Right? But if you're sick with mental health, people are never like, "Hey, how's your mental health doing today? How's treatment going? How's
No.
recovery?" No, some people will just look at you weird and be like, "There's something wrong with that person." And sometimes I
It's
give them
so
like one of those,
stigmatized.
like you know what I mean, like the crazy, like what are you looking at? You know what I mean? Because I don't care anymore, I tell people, "Look, as long as I'm able now to deal with my mental health in a healthy way, right, a healthy outlet." For a long time, I wasn't able to do that, you know? Very unhealthy ways that I went about it. But also in my head, I thought they were healthy, right? I was doing it the right way.
Right.
And then when I
Right.
came out the other side, when I realized, hey, this ain't healthy, there's
Right.
nothing healthy about this at all. And that was hard. That was hard to even realize that, hey, what I was doing for the longest time was wrong, because in my mind, I was right. I was right about everything, you know?
But you only know what you know, right? That's what I always tell people. Like,
Yeah.
I thought the unhealthy coping skills I had was that's all I knew.
Yeah.
I needed the guidance from people around me, my chosen family, my professionals in my life to guide me. We're not born knowing how to deal with mental illness.
Yeah.
We're not. It's not something we just inherently know how to do.
Yeah. And nobody wants
And
to
I think
talk
that's
about it.
no, and I think that's the beauty of podcasts like yours because you're giving that outlet for people to share their experiences and hope, and
Yeah.
maybe others can listen and learn from it and grow on their own. I
Yeah.
think it's beautiful.
Yeah, Maddie, I've never received more, text messages from people, even people that I know, right, that have reached out that I would never think were going through something that would, that said, "Hey, that those messages really helped today on the podcast." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going through this or I'm going through that." I never thought, I never would have thought people would reach out like that. And it feels good, right? It feels good. And one of my biggest things in you as well, right? It's being vulnerable. It's opening up,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't able to do that before. I was just Maddie, I used to deal with life in ways of just my ways of dealing with everything was shutting down or putting the conversation off for 20 minutes and 20 minutes never happening. So if I
Right.
could just get out of the conversation, I would just be good, or I would sit there and word salad and confuse people and then just walk out because the conversation was over.
But now look at you being so open and transparent and sharing other
Exactly.
voices.
And it feels great. It does. It feels so empowering to be able to snatch my mental health back and be like, hey, I got this.
Here's
I got
how
this.
here's how far he's come. I'm having a live event in October for about 100 to 150 people, and he heard about it and he said, "I'm flying to North Carolina. I'm going to speak at this thing." And I'm like, "Hell yeah. Yes
Yep.
you are."
Yep. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to come down there
Yeah.
and Pete's gonna be there too, right?
Pete says he's coming. We'll
So if Pete comes, you
see.
might as well have like an all weekend event.
No, there is a time cap on how long you can speak. These people have to get back to work. It's on a Friday.
We're gonna just do this to Pete. Pete.
Yeah.
I say we not make, but Pete has to go last.
Okay.
Right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is we're either going to have breakfast or lunch provided, we think.
Yeah.
So while they're eating, we're going to have speakers.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
but we don't want to be there. I mean, I want to hear you guys speak. That's why I talk to you guys so much. But I think after a while, these people are going to be overwhelmed from
Exactly.
doing the
No,
simulation.
exactly. Look, my thing is I would love to just, talk about briefly, my mental health and being able to snatch it back and take hold of it and how
Right.
powerful that can be, right? Because I think oftentimes when you're in it, right, and you're going through it, you use every excuse in the book to not grab a hold of it, right? Whether it's I'm not taking my meds, I'm feeling better, or you find every excuse until you have that moment where it's like, hey, I'm not getting any better. I'm
Right.
not doing good, and sometimes you may have those thoughts in your head, of I don't want to be here anymore, you know, I don't want to be here
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And when I came out the other side, right, and I was able to look up at the sky and breathe the fresh air, right, listen to the birds chirp, and it was a different feeling that I've never had before, Maddie. You know what I mean? Like being healthy,
Yeah.
you know, being healthy
Oh,
now and seeing that.
somebody's in our chat and they said congratulations on your journey, mate. Thank you. That's nice. I didn't realize people could chat us.
Yeah, so I shared this on Uncle Jimmy's podcast so people can come into Riverside. They can join in. Yeah. Look at we got our first hi. I don't even know the name.
High Sense Traffic 6955. All right now.
Here we go. You could
Sorry to interrupt
also
you.
you can also listen to Voice of the Voiceless
Yeah, listen to Voice of the Voiceless on Saturdays.
on Saturdays. And I'm gonna say this, it's starring Maddie Andrews with co-host Pete versus
Pete.
Anxiety Pod. It doesn't go.
Yeah.
It's not Pete versus Anxiety Pod with co-host Maddie Andrews. It's Maddie Andrews with co-host. Maddie comes first, right? It's all about the marquee,
Um,
right? When you're at the movies and the marquee's up there, Maddie's name comes first. You know, and that is cool. We had a visitor who came in, so at least one person's listening, Maddie. We can feel good about it. You know, that's the
well, that's
goal.
what I always say. When I do these things, when I talk in public or when I do podcasts, I'm like, if just one person hears me and their mentality changes, or they feel
Yeah,
educated, or they feel inspired, then it was worth all of it.
was well worth all of it, you know, and that's cool, you know. And that was the thing I just learned tonight of when you do go live, you can go live on Riverside. I put the thing on Facebook, the link, and people just have to click it. I didn't know that.
I don't know how to work Riverside at all, so that's great that you figured that out.
I've had it for months, and I'm still trying to figure out things of how to add pictures and this. And
Right.
I was gonna ask Pete, but I didn't have 17 days for the, you know. What does Pete use? Pete uses Zoom, I think, right?
I think he uses Riverside. I
Does
should
he use
know since
Riverside?
I'm on it with him, but
Yeah. Yeah, so it has to be Riverside, right?
yeah, he uses Riverside.
Yeah. So who do we have coming up this Saturday on Voice of the Voiceless? You know?
I don't know because we had a no show this week for our recording, so we might not have a
Oh.
show this Saturday. But we're gonna do a double header on Monday to help out with that.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, and that happens right in the podcast game that people don't show up. And you know, I had one last night who didn't show up 8 o'clock, but I had a beautiful conversation with Shauna Cernaik. She's an Indigenous woman in Canada.
Oh, cool.
Oh, it was so cool. And she was talking about her story of there's so many, you know, young. She talks about to everyone about Indigenous people, but there's so many young girls, right, women and children as well, missing from the Indigenous people up there. They just disappear. There was a couple serial killers. It was crazy. Listen, she told me a story about this pig farmer who was a serial killer, and he would take these girls, Indigenous girls, kill them, and then feed them to the pigs. Yeah, yeah. So they don't even know how many peak girls were missing because that's what he was doing to dispose of them. It was crazy.
That's
But it was
wild.
so interesting, and she was so powerful. Everything she had been through, and we had a great talk. And the good thing with her was that she was saying how she wants to just make sure that the young girls are taken care of, and because she was telling me that before colonization, right before the white people came over, she was saying how the women in the tribes, the Indigenous women, were the backbone of the communities. They were the strong ones. They took care of it. Their word was above the man. They were the
Wow.
powerful one. Yeah, I never knew that. So to learn that last night, and that's what I love about the podcast. I learn something new all the time with people. Learn something new all the time.
Yeah.
So what's up for the rest of the week, Maddie? Before we wrap up, what do you got going?
Tomorrow I have practicum and supervision, and I'm my I'm gonna take time off this week to be with my husband and be more present. Like normally I work 40 hours Friday, Saturday, Sunday at my job.
Yeah,
Excuse me, but I took off Saturday and Sunday. I've been doing less during the evening so I can be with him, just
nice.
trying to be more present and in tune to what he
You guys got any
needs.
plans?
He wants to go see a museum on Saturday, and then Sunday is our baby's birthday. And they're not real babies, they're dogs, but our puppy's birthday. They were born on leap day, so we celebrate on March 1st. And my husband, we love them so much. We looked at renting a private dog park with an agility course for them to play at. And they will definitely have to get a pup cup. As you can tell, I don't have children, so they get spoiled.
That's awesome. So it sounds like that's one of the biggest things too, Maddie, that I had to realize, right, with work and everything else, is sometimes taking that time off, right, to spend it with your loved one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
because
it's
sometimes we
important.
don't think, right, Maddie, when we're going through the mental health stuff, sometimes we don't think of our partners or our girlfriends or our husbands, right? We don't.
Yeah,
You know,
I honestly feel very guilty, but because I am so busy, I'm doing like 100-hour weeks, and
Yeah.
he kind of gets put on the back burner, and I don't want him to feel negative about that.
Yeah.
I also think it's important for everybody to have their own community, and I really want him to get to know you and Pete really
Yeah. I'd love
bad.
to.
I think it would be really beneficial having men who are so open and
Yeah.
honest about things. So we'll have to slyly put that together. I tried to get him
Yeah.
to come on tonight. He was like, "Absolutely not." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He's very
Well, and
shy.
tell him, right? Tell you, you have all my information and all that. If he ever wants to talk, I'd love to,
Yeah, I think it'd be great.
because, you do talk so lovingly about him and how he was there for you when you went through everything and, basically took care of you and helped you rehab. That's powerful. That's love.
Yeah,
That's love, you know?
I'll get with you about it
Yeah.
off the live.
Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So, yeah, I got nothing the rest of the week. A birthday party Saturday. That's it. And, work. What? I don't even know what today is. Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Yeah. I didn't work the last 2 days, and I was like, I should just take the rest of the week off.
There you go.
You know? But it's funny, right? So I'm coming down to you, and I'm excited for the event, me and,
Yes.
hopefully I get to meet Pete in person, and I'm gonna get to meet
Yes.
you in person, obviously, because 'cause you're guaranteed to be there. I can't wait. Rita's gonna be there too, right?
Rita is gonna be there.
And your husband?
He better be there. It's my event.
He'll be there. He'll be there. So, Maddie, for anyone, we're gonna sign off, but for anyone out there, right, that's struggling in this moment right now, what do you have to say to them?
Please remember that you are worthy, loved, kind, important. Your life matters. And practice telling yourself that every single day. I know a lot of times when we're dealing with our mental health, we get wrapped up in the negative self talk. But the more you practice it, either by saying it out loud, writing it in your journal, leaving sticky notes in your house, write on your mirror, anything you can do to practice that positive self talk, it'll become second nature, and you'll start believing new things about yourself.
Yeah. Yep. And like you said, Maddie, you had that opportunity, right? Came through and you
Yeah.
snatched it. Took back your mental health and look
Yeah.
at you. Look at you. You got
Yeah.
events
Um,
now.
I'm living proof that we can't cure mental illness, but we can live in recovery, and hope is very alive that we can do that. We just need the right supports to get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And think about it, right, Maddie? There were times, right? You didn't want to be here anymore.
There was a lot of times I
A
tried
whole
to
year.
not be here. There was a whole year where the only thought I could process was how I didn't want to be here, and here's
Yeah.
how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And it was miserable, and I'm thankful that I had resources around me, a team of people around me. I called 988, all the things, and it saved my life, and I'm just so thankful, and I live in a ton of gratitude today for the opportunity to be saved.
Yeah. And that was the thing I was talking to my friend about earlier, right? That's funny that you said gratitude because if you know, I was going to talk about gratitude in the mental health community, right? That's what I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about. So we're going to talk about that next week. Next Wednesday, we're going to talk about
Okay.
gratitude. Who we're grateful for, what we have gratitude for, and and we'll make sure we fill in Pete. Hopefully, Rita can join us. And for everybody that joined
Yeah.
the live, right? Everybody that joined, we appreciate it. You can follow Maddie at Maddie Andrews. She is everywhere on all the social medias. JE Support. She is
It,
also the
a voice
host
of the
of Voice of
voiceless.
the Voiceless, co-hosting with Pete versus Anxiety Pod. And then she has her event coming up. She has a small axe, right? Big impact, right?
Right?
Small
What?
axe, big impact, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can't even keep up with everything I'm doing. I do have a nonprofit called J&E Support Group. We are a registered nonprofit. Everything we do for our community is run in donations. And we have a really awesome flyer with a QR code that goes directly to our Amazon wish list. It doesn't have to be astronomical. It could be a pack of markers, and we will be forever grateful. And you can help someone else heal today.
And if just one person donates, right? If one person shares it, One person
Yeah.
donates and another person donates,
Yes.
we'll be
If
good
you
to go,
can't
right?
donate,
Yeah.
if you can't donate, share the flyer. If you hit me up if you need the direct link. This is all how communities are built. This is all how healing happens. So I talked about it earlier. That support system around me, help us be that support system for other people.
Yeah. Yep. And look at it. Look at the story. You know, everything Maddie's gone through. Look where she is today. We're so proud of her. We're so proud.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
so excited. She's the host of the Voice of the Voiceless. Pete's gonna call and scream and yell at me. You know that, right? He's gonna be so mad. But Pete, we missed you. We love you. We hope you're okay. We
Yes.
hope you're getting some rest.
And where do we find you?
Me, I'm everywhere. I'm Uncle Jimmy's podcast. I am Uncle Jimmy of Uncle Jimmy's podcast. I am the solo host of Uncle Jimmy's podcast. You can find me on Facebook. I try to do how Pete does it because Pete just goes, I'm Pete versus Anxiety Pod. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Pete just has a whole breakdown at the end. And I try to like emulate him, but I can't do it. So I'm Uncle Jimmy's podcast. You can find me at Uncle Jimmy's podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. I'm Uncle Jimmy's Pod on X, and just about everywhere streaming. You can find the show on. We drop it live. It goes live on Saturdays at 9 a.m. Uncle Jimmy's podcast on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the streaming platforms. But specifically on YouTube, we have video. We have video of the recording. Go check that out. That drops Saturdays as well. This Saturday, I wish I could tell you who it is, but I have 36 interviews in the vault. So we're going to take a pick and see who it is. You know, it's one of those. Keep you guessing because it's a short week this week, but Mental Health Mondays, we're going to have, who am I going to have? I'm going to have Pete versus Anxiety Pod on. That's who's coming Monday. Pete's coming. I'm coming to Pete's show March 20th, and I'm going to have to get on the Voice of the Voiceless. So
Yay!
I can't wait. We're going to wrap this all up. You can find us here every Wednesday, right? Every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. If things change, check Maddie's socials, my socials. Check Pete's socials. But also, I want to put this out to anybody that's out there listening. If you want to come on and join and talk and just sit around, you guys are more than welcome. I'll send out the invites. Just let us know. Reach out to Maddie. Reach out to me. You can inbox me, inbox her, inbox Pete. We'd love to have more people on and just come on and just have a conversation about mental health because we're trying to normalize the conversation. And that's what we're here for. Make it normal.
Exactly.
You know? So, Maddie, I hope you have a great rest of the week.
You too.
I hope you have a fun Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
With husband and kids, right?
Yes.
The doggies.
Yes, the doggies.
And enjoy that time because you guys deserve it, right?
Thank you.
So,
I hope you stay safe in all this snow and stay warm. My gosh.
More snow next week. And I'm just going to become a snowman. I'm just going to go lay in it and just put it around me and just sit there for years now and just be the snowman, right?
We got like eight inches last month and everything was just like shut down.
Oh.
We don't deal with that in North Carolina.
No, we had 30-something inches and everybody was back to work the next day.
No.
Welcome to Boston, as I like to say, you know? So we're signing off here. Like I said, we appreciate it, Maddie. Thank you so much. Peace and love.
Thank you.
Peace and love. Go check out Maddie. Go check out Pete, myself, Voice of the Voiceless, Uncle Jimmy's podcast. Big things coming. We're down in North Carolina in October.
Yes.
And go. Small acts, big impact. Check Maddie's story. Check my story. We're going to be sharing them on socials. If one person can give markers, pens, let's do it. Let's send as much as we can down. Even if you go on and just click and send one gift. One gift is better than none. One gift can change somebody's life. One gift can save somebody's day. Small acts, big impact.
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Well, peace and love. Peace and love. Uncle Jimmy out. Maddie, on the flip side.